horse drifted alarmingly in the betting, was, fenced in the morning, continued to drift. It was late on the exchanges to lose. It was something you'd see in a Dick Francis novel, Charles Buttons.
The ground is soft. It's
heavy.
It's soft on times.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Hello and a very warm welcome. It's that time of week again. Yes, it's the Sunday Sermon brought to you by our new sponsor, which happens to be Cook on Sunday. That's not Cock on Sunday like some of you insinuated, Dave Bradshaw. We're sponsored by Cook on Sunday. It's our new satirical look at cooking food with some excellent recipes by John, Nick, and me and Chris adding absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
That sums it up pretty well. And obviously, it's Bar Steward style show, but of course, based purely on the culinary delights. This launched this morning. We'll try and get it out every Sunday to around 7:30. 30 minutes longer show, ideal dog walk pod, and you'll certainly learn a few things. I can tell you that Nick and John's Sunday roast recipes, which was the subject this week, is absolutely top class. And I've learned things even now, and I've known these guys for years. It's definitely worth a listen. Give it a try. If you've got SoundCloud, it's on its own platform. Don't look under Bar Stewards. You won't find it there. We've got his own Twitter account, Cook on Sunday 1, if you want to follow us on there. And we've got his own YouTube account, which, of course, you can follow us. Please like and subscribe us on YouTube and make plenty of comments. We'll always respond to your comments as long as you're not calling us see you next Tuesdays, which we do get. It'll be a lot of fun. So please join in the fun with that. We think it's worth doing because, again, it's all about mental health. We started Bar Stewards for mental health, and this is an extra show for you. Take the dog for a walk, etc., and away you go. Introductions then. John and Chris, nice to be with you again for more shenanigans this week. Are you both in the land of living?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm playing backgammon while the rest of the world's playing baseball.
The England cricket team. In fact, before we do the review, may as well start a question here. On the Test cricket team, which have duly got hammered in 2 days, Davis is starting the show off this week, and he says, what's going to happen first? Is it an England Test match that lasts 5 days, or a UK trainer wins the Cheltenham Gold Cup, John?
Oh, God. It could be a long wait for both, couldn't it?
A good old baseball.
I think you'd have to take a punt on the weather stepping in and saying an England Test match lasting 5 days.
I've got an inkling here. Do you think these England Test players, they're all golf?
Take a golf swing at it.
I'm going to say play cricket for 2 days and then they just sit on golf course.
They're certainly playing golf shots, aren't they?
Crazy, Batty. But anyway.
Boycott would be turning in his grave if only he was dead, wouldn't he, really?
So absolutely would.
He's probably wishing he was dead so he could turn in his grave.
Yeah, it's no way to bat play at every ball. So, yeah, that's the start of the show. Now, we're going to racing review time, where this was one of the first big Saturdays in the National Hunt calendar, and it saw some very nice performances, actually. So we'll come to Ascot, first of all, to discuss the Ladbrokes 1965 chase. Django Bay, a very impressive winner in a very fast time. I think at the time of recording this podcast is as low as 5-1, I think, for the King George on the back of that. And on that performance, might be on the big side, given that Ireland sometimes doesn't send their very best over. They just tend to not bother with the race. And that just might be a little bit on the big side, John. What were your thoughts on the race?
A little sneaky preview of my column this week. I have actually said he's got to be a player in the King George.
Right. I had a chance to read it, yeah.
Based on the run there. You couldn't say any other than very impressive, could you, really? I think the right horses came second and third as well.
Yeah.
There was nothing not to like, was there?
This is my take on it. Gidley Park was straight, fitness-wise. I thought Pete Dore, he wasn't off and blew up about 2. I mean, you can tell with the ride, they don't ride that horse round there like that.
No.
They usually limp it like to the rail. They're out and away, and you didn't want to bar of the lead. I can't have Pete Dore being off. And the worrying thing for Ile Francais, obviously, it's probably clearly evident again that the horse has bled once again, John.
It looks that way, doesn't it? They're at a point where you can't really take their horse seriously anymore, can you? It's going to turn up on odd occasions. and maybe 1 in 5, it's going to leave you with egg on your face as it pisses up, but overall it doesn't pay back horses like that.
People go on about Constitution Hill a lot, and that's something we could come on to later in the show, how annoying is this, going on about Constitution Hill all the time. But the thing with this horse is that it's such a shame, because I don't think I've ever seen a more impressive winner of a Felton than this one back in 23. He would have won the King George, but for Reevely having a brain fart and kicking miles clear too soon, for me last year anyway, we agreed on that on the show. And yet, like you said, John, it's either bomb out or piss up. And it's one of them. Do you know what? If he turns up at the King George and they make him 20s, I don't think I'd want to lose on him.
Well, that could be the day, couldn't it? You just don't know. Personally, I think if he's bred today, I don't think a month's long enough.
No, maybe not.
I personally wouldn't have run in this had he gone straight to King George, I think.
Yeah, I think Davis was very vociferous on that. He said he can't believe he hadn't gone straight for the big one on Boxing Day. But hey ho, we're not in charge. So Yango Bay, definitely on the shortlist for the King George. I know that's probably an obvious thing just tipping up, but we've got to say as we see it. And it was a fast time, and you can't knock a 9-length beat in a Gidley Park.
Always nice to see Popeye with a contender, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not that we're going to get any hype generated by his Unibet ambassadorship.
No, none at all. Another meeting took place today. Didn't play second fiddle at all. The big one, the Betfair Chase. Before we come on to that, the jukebox man. One of the luckiest owners in racing, John, you think, in Mr. Redknapp?
Honestly, this is so depressing. Even a year off can't stop the man, can it?
Right.
You'd have hoped somewhere down the line that it might needed a run, but then, of course, it's Harry Redknapp in a race on the telly. Of course it was going to win.
Yeah.
Again, if you're going to fancy Django Bay for the King George, you'd have to say this run was hugely promising for this thing running in something nice round about Christmas time, wouldn't you?
You would on a front-running track, definitely.
And given the owner's profile, you would expect it to be winning.
Yeah, good old Harry Redknapp.
Yeah.
Owning the jukebox man, and he did it well enough and sets himself up nicely for the season.
No doubt he'll be interviewed on the telly and say something charming about being unable to find his socks and Sandra helping him out finding them.
What I'm going on about his jam roly-poly and custard and things like
Yes, which should be shoved squarely up his ring place.
For 3 o'clock at Haddock was the Betfair Chase, obviously a staple diet in many National Hunt fans throughout the season, where they all wear the scarves, John, turn up in the scarves, colours of the horses.
It was a wonderful sight, wasn't it, all in Betfair scarves just before the race, you know? Like a giveaway at some poverty thing, wasn't it? You sell your scarves, then fuck off. Don't expect to play to stew.
Right, I've seen a bit of fawning over Grey Dawning after the race. Has he really achieved much more on the book?
Of course not. He's done exactly what he'd been expected to do. I don't think Handstand's got home in this company. I know he's won at 3 Mile, but he looked dead on his feet the last 2 fences out.
I've always had an opinion that he wants it like soft heavy, like proper.
Yeah, I just felt he was absolutely buggered at the end of this, and I think that little bit hiking class and travelling a bit faster early on just found him out at the trip. I think we'll go back and trip with him.
What I'm saying is, if people are knocking what we're saying about Grey Dawning and what he's turned up and done today...
Yeah, I come back when he's won a Gold Cup and have a fucking pop at us. Piss off.
There you go. Venetia's, as we mentioned last week, well, I did, in terms of... She hasn't got going yet.
No.
Anything that comes out first time out at the moment is definitely not a peak. And I do think for you National Hunt fans that are really into like following certain trainers at times of year, she normally comes good about this time of year, but she hasn't yet. I do think it could be big in December and January, like huge, because I think her horses are... There was one that ran today, hers, that if you watch it through the line, wasn't beaten far, I don't think. It was that in the handicap chase. Calico won it. Martyr Tour.
Oh, is that the one that's finished?
Yeah, that was really strong through the line. That's the case in point. It was beaten 66 lengths in the Haldon Gold Cup at Exeter on reappearance. And look how that's come on for the running. And that was strong at the line. That's going to be winning over Christmas, for sure. whatever they run that in.
King George?
No. I'll say you joke on this, but we've had a fucking year of this on flat where we spot horses to follow, and they're off 89, and we're rubbing his hands thinking we're going to be getting 5-2 in an handicap on a Saturday, and we're thinking, well, this is like...
And they go all Daddy Dimple on us, don't they?
Yeah, they either go for a Group 3 at Deauville or something.
Been one of them years.
It has.
It's enough to have you launching a cookery podcast, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The subject matters on these cooking pods are going to be awesome. The idea is to be satirical about food and cooking. John is very good. He's got a full repertoire of culinary skills. So I can tell you that we'll really have fun.
If we were chefs, me and Lee would be called Pierce Film Lid and Microwave. That will be our cookery names.
Microwave. I'm loving this. You listen to John and Nick and it's alien speak. It's something else. Me and Chris are just there like, what's for tea?
Yeah.
And these two, they've got an opinion on everything in terms of like how we should cook things, how we should do this. I think it's class. I think Nigella would be jealous of our pod. I'll be tweeting at Nigella. I'll be doing anything at Nigella to get her attention to listen to her. I'm sure. Right, onwards and upwards. Come on, we've got serious business because this is, of course, a racing podcast. There's a few things this week that have really annoyed the fuck out of me, I'll be honest. I think safer gambling week, that's the first thing. That don't mean I'm not sympathetic to people that have suffered gambling harm or have ruined their life from betting or anything like that. It's got nothing to do with that.
Well, basically our lives are ruined as a result of it because it's constant disappointment, isn't it? So, yeah, we're kind of victims of it. Pray your enemies, bet horses. That's my motto.
No, but I don't understand what safer gambling...
Harry Stewart Miller tweeted this afternoon. He said, what does this mean? Because he put a sticker up for Safer Gambling Week.
Yeah.
So I answered him. I said, well, it's exercising your God-given right to lose £2 a day without depositing enough to catch the attention of the Gambling Commission or aggravate Caroline Harris.
Absolutely. It's a sad state of affairs.
That's Safer Gambling Week in a nutshell for me.
As we know, smoking all your life isn't safe, is it? Drinking a bowl of gin while I do this podcast isn't safe, is it?
Bearing in mind that smoking does cure kippers.
Well, he's here all week.
Yeah. How do you have a safer gambling week? Is it to raise awareness or is it trying to tell people how you should play? Now, for me, that's where it's all gone wrong in my personal performance on Betfair over the last couple of years, is because I've had to adjust my style of play. I can no longer think, all right, just put some more money in. You have to think, no, I can't run out of money because they might suspend or finish my account. And how is that making me either A, enjoy the game, or B, benefiting my choices? It's not, is it? I'll tell you what it's like. Telling a group of school children to go on a field trip in Canada and take a picnic into a wooded area and say it's safer Bears Week this week. A bear might attack you, he might not. It is what it is, isn't it? You know for a fact a bear could come and eat you all. That could happen. The same as like we could do our bollocks in. It's just that's how it is. The word safer gambling doesn't make any sense. It's safer alcohol week.
Coming soon, safer swimming with sharks week.
Chum fastened around being towed by a fishing boat or something like that.
Sounds fun, that.
Speaking of which, the grizzly bear thing was meant there because I read in the news 2 days ago, and I can't believe this. A teacher in British Columbia, Canada, has took the school children to a wooded area in the middle of nowhere. They all sat down having a picnic. Grizzlies come and ate the teacher.
Excellent.
And maimed a load of kids.
Day off school. Hooray!
Apparently, it's a bit really bad. There's like 11 kids that are injured but not critical. The 2 that are critical are the teachers that obviously tried to stop the bear mauling the kids. And they were on with bear spray, apparently, but that one no good.
They can really fucking swat them things, though, can't they? One swipe with them and you just become 5 slices. Really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the claws.
Extraordinary. And yeah, I think something like 20% of American men think they could win a fight with the grizzly bear. Fucking hell.
The funny thing is, Chris, on them quick reels you can get on, there was something about a bear attack. I thought, I'll have a little laugh here, and I went on, and I put, the important thing to remember is go for the soft areas on a bear when you go in hand-to-hand combat with one. It's either groin, throat, or eyes. And somebody come on and said, oh, there speaks the voice of authority, being a bit sarky in that. So If this wasn't true, I said, how come in 9 encounters with bears, I've won 3 of them? And you would not believe the amount of questions I got back after that
Good God.
about besting these grizzly bears in hand-to-hand
These
combat.
people are extraordinary, aren't they? They're just so dumb. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Good God.
The point is, though, and I read a funny post today on Twitter. I know it's not on our questions thread, but it made me chuckle. There was a bloke that said, I were in bookies today to watch the big races, which is good. That's great.
Gosh, yeah.
Sport. And he said there were 2 or 3 young uns in, and they're all fucking shouting for odds-on shots and lift it, like blogger style.
Hello. Yeah.
So he says that's a negative thing that bloggers bringing in.
It is shit.
It's shit. It's just shit.
Yeah, it is shit.
We're not totally shit, but this is shit.
That is totally shit, yeah.
It's just moronville. It's depressing.
So, other thing I wanted to talk about this week was the Julie Harrington.
Oh, yes.
I fell off my chair nearly, and that's hard to do where I sit.
We can't get out of the fucking chair normally, can you? You don't fall out of it. For fuck's sake. Need a winch.
Fucking welded to it.
But it's one of them you sink into it. You've done incredibly well to fall out.
They take the roof off your house when you go to the shops, don't they? That's the...
You'd have been on a par with that fucker, what's he called? Colt Seavers in The Fall Guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember
that sort of level, yeah.
Anyway, yes.
£598,000 the BHA paid her in her last year of tenure as BHA chair. I would love the BHA to actually comment on what she's actually done to get this or receive this amount of obscene money. Chris, I'll let you start because I know you've got a view on it.
You've kind of hit the nail on the head. The question is, what metric was she judged against to warrant that ex gratia payment and those additional sums of money? Now, if she met those targets or exceeded the targets and everyone can see that racing is in a much better state, then you think, well, okay, that's the kind of money these people are paid. That's legitimate. But her tenure as BHA head was one of unmitigated failure, muddle and delay. And this was a woman that clearly had no understanding of the sport. And yet, not only does she leave, she's rewarded for leaving with a huge payout. And in industry, you can kind of understand it. Well, we've doubled the share price, profits are through the roof. Okay, have a big fat bonus. But what was she judged against? What made those people say she has been an overwhelming success against this measure and therefore she warrants this sum of money? I don't know what that might be, because racing has been in terminal decline.
Well, that's it. I want to clarify here. I don't like looking at what other people get and earn out of the game. I always say it's a bad way to look at life. You should look at yourself and what you do yourself, and that's it. Forget what everyone else is doing. If they're getting plenty out of life, great, well done. But in this case, because it's the sport I love, and I'm thinking, right, I'm wanting to see Julie Harrington do some good things at the BHA.
Yeah.
John, I don't think I've seen anything she's done that has made any sort of difference whatsoever to the sport.
The Racecourse Association made a fairly positive statement about her when she left, which I think actually told us more about the Racecourse Association than it did about Julie Harrington's tenure at the BHA. She was virtually anonymous the time she was there. She added her name to a few things such as premierisation when it was at the sign-off stage. She was never vocal when these things were being talked about or the ideas were being conceived. She refused point-blank any testing interviews. I mean, I know for a fact she wouldn't go anywhere near Matt Chapman, who had plenty to ask her. And as regards a presence at the helm of racing, she popped up about as often as the shopkeeper in Mr. Ben.
Well, at least he was quite likeable, wasn't he, the shopkeeper? He was quite a sort
well,
of...
yeah. How can you not like somebody that wears a fez in civilian life?
Exactly right. Had some character and some endearing features. Yeah. She had none at all.
Well, as regards that, I've said it before on this podcast, you could have literally kicked a shaved monkey through a branch of Laura Ashley, stuck it in the big chair, and had the same result for the cost of a packet of peanuts.
It reminds me of when they employ somebody on fortunes in government and they're absolutely useless. And I don't mean like an MP, probably an advisor that seems to just get paid like fortunes or whatever.
Dominic Cummings, he got a lot, won't he?
Yeah, they're just completely hopeless. And
that fucking pillock that's in with Starmer now, what's he called? Morgan McSweeney. Yeah.
Yeah, useless.
Vile. Yeah.
Them sorts that are just, what on earth? Do you know what I blame? I've said it before, LinkedIn. I think
Yeah.
it's very easy on LinkedIn to look really good.
They're looking to build their profiles up, aren't they?
Yeah,
This asks deep questions of the BHA, both recruitment process and transparency, because they refuse to go into detail about why she's got this ex gratia payment.
Yeah.
And it's just all too insular. For a gaming crisis, in all fairness, the likes of Lisa and Andy should be all over this, and the government should be on the point of stepping in and having a clear out here, because this is just wrong. Wrong on so many levels. This sport has been mismanaged for 20 years, seriously mismanaged, almost to the point of saying there's something fundamentally wrong in the whole approach.
well, you've got the controversies surrounding the BHA over years, obviously, getting things done, positives of the sport, and they've just seemed to have gone down different banners of diversity, and 5.9 million, I believe, on this digital project that's still apparently underfunded.
Yes, if you look at some profiles at the Jockey Club, find out who's passionate about digital in her profile, and you will not be surprised why it's taking ages.
It wouldn't be a Mrs. Harding, would it, of Circa?
Could hardly possibly comment, but yes, it is.
And the other controversy, of course, is the tenure with Weatherby's that are, I'm going to say this, I believe Weatherby's are rinsing in owners. The owners' charges, if you've never been an owner before, you'll see that the charges are just fucking horrendous. You have to pay admin fees, silks registration fees to just register your silks every year as well. That's a yearly fee. You can't own your silks. You've got to pay a registration fee every year for your silks.
You wouldn't get as fucked as owners, though, if you went to a Ron Jeremy Tuppaware party.
I've got another mental image of that. You know, like when AI draws you an image.
Oh, God, yeah.
I've just got the image. All these happy women sat round with Tupperware boxes, and him stood there in the middle in a pair of Speedos. With...
Yeah.
Isn't he a rapist now, though?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they've exposed him as a coercive character. So
I think there was a fair chance he was a rapist back then as well, Chris.
well, I think that's what they're referring to. I think historic claims and allegations made against him.
He's got a bit of a back catalogue.
Yeah, comedy rapist. Yeah, always good for a laugh. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Certainly more non-politically correct views that we hold on this show, highlighting rapists in Tupperware parties.
But only the funny ones.
Yeah.
We don't like the serious ones. We like the ones that kind of joke around when they commit their horrible crimes. Yeah, that's it. He's always good for a laugh. Yeah.
Absolutely. One more talking point that I thought of this week. Well, it brought to me attention because some people have been tweeting us a lot about it. There was one guy that commented last week on the 18 to 25 Friday nights idea. He said, I love you guys, listen to all your pods, but I find you a bit boring because you just slag everything off or every initiative off. I don't believe, though, we were particularly slagging it off.
No.
We basically said we didn't like the racing league.
Yeah. Guess what's happened to that? Everybody said it's a pile of shit. No, it's great. Yeah, brilliant. And they've just dropped it. They don't listen to their customers.
Man, Joe, weren't most of the people that were in the press saying it was great the ones that were being paid a small fortune as team managers?
Absolutely. No, that's just purely coincidental. They would have held those views even if they weren't in receipt of a stipend. But you see, this is racing to a T, isn't it? It doesn't listen to its customers. It has an idea and it tries to impose these initiatives on the sport, even though its customers are saying, we don't want it. It's rubbish. We don't like it. No, you will enjoy it. You'll like this.
And always ensuring that the same people get nicely paid as a result of these initiatives.
Shergar Cup, another example. Yeah, you love it. The punters no, they don't love it. People don't love it. Yeah, you do. You do love it. We're going to have it next year as well, and the year after, ad nauseum. And that's the problem. That is the problem in a nutshell.
Yeah, I agree with all sentiments, really. But what I want to get across to our listeners is that we're not just like critical for the sake of it. It's just the fact that we like to find a flaw in things that could potentially arise, which is what I said about when Invades are doing all this thing for 18 to 25, and someone's contacted me on this, saying they offered Invades an educational thing on racing to help youngsters understand the sport better as they're coming into the tracks and everything else. There's currently nothing there. All right, there's people that say, we just learned as we went along. Well, we did. But the difference back then was people actually spent the time reading the form because there wasn't the internet. So you actually read the form, you did whatever, you asked questions. I've seen a lot of these younger race goers, they're not really interested in looking at the form or the horses in the paddock. They go to the bar and then look down the list and pick a name and back that. I know there's always going to be people like that, but the point is, if you're trying to grow racing, you don't grow it by people that aren't interested in analysing what a horse is, what it looks like. Say to a youngster, what's the pastern on a horse? Point to me where the pastern is.
They wouldn't know because they don't see the need to know. We live in an age when we just give me the answer. Yeah, I don't care how you got it.
Yeah.
AI, just give me the answer. And you're right, the internet
Yeah.
has created, don't show me your workings, just give me the answer. Tell me what I've got to do. And that's it. And of course, that's great for big corp because you don't want people that have got a clue, do you? You want people that just use other selection methods based on gut or feel with no study. That's what you want.
We need them all. We need the youngsters, and I'm not saying that these isn't a good thing or like might not be a good thing. I've never said that, so I don't know where somebody's got that. I've just said that if you're encouraging youngsters into the sport in this current climate, you have to make sure that they are aware of probably variance in gambling. We were never made aware of variance. Why? Because no one gave a shit. If you did your bollocks, you did your bollocks, and that was that. But now, if you do your bollocks, well, you're going to get your account suspended, and people should make them aware of this. And that's all I'm saying. But then we know that that's not the aim of Big Corp because they just want the blogger types in there that follow blogger, tenner bets, 20 quid bets. And that's it, bet builders, and just keep losing money steadily away. Keep sending us money every month, please. It's a bit like Netflix. How can you get engaged in a game that encourages that? That's my point, really. And the grey pound, as always, I side with Chris because if you look at these syndicates, you've got Race Share, you've got Midland Park Racing, Nick Bradley, you've got lots of other syndicates. You look at the photographs, Chris, in the winner's enclosure. I don't think there's anyone under 40.
There are exceptions, of course, but mainly syndicates are comprised of middle-aged and retired people because they have disposable income and time. And the problem with young people is, irrespective of how enthusiastic they are, they're more concerned with building careers, families, etc. They don't have the time. Retired people or self-made men have time. And they're the ones you should be targeting because they can make a proper investment in the sport by way of ownership. They can go every day. A young person with the best will in the world may only be able to go a few times a year because they have other commitments, work, family, blah, blah, blah. A retired person doesn't take themselves off midweek racing. They want.
I'm going to promote Pontefract now because they do some days in the summer where it's free for OAPs. Again, it's attracting the grey pound customer because they'll come, all right, they'll have a coffee, but they can afford to bet. They can afford £50, £100 for a bet. If they like, they can afford a share in a racehorse, a lot of them. Again, it's all about initiatives, and I do praise ideas. I hate it when people say, oh, you just don't want new initiatives. I want new initiatives, but I want them to be right. I want it to work properly.
You want it to complement racing's core support, and there's nothing being done to attract the people that actually keep the sport going day in, day out. That's the problem. You can have young people initiatives, brilliant student days, fantastic. Have no issue with that. But it seems to be at the exclusion of everybody else. There doesn't seem to be any regard paid for the people that are actually in the sport. It's like new subscriber discounts. You get a new subscriber discount for broadband or whatever. Year 2, you don't benefit from that because they don't reward their loyal customers. That's the problem.
Yeah. I'm going to come into questions in a minute, and we've got some good ones this week. So I thank you all for this because there are some tremendous ones. Just one thing though, John. Have you been watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of There this year?
Not as much as I would have normally watched it. I'm tending to think the show's jumped the shark somewhat.
Okay, I'm disappointed. You'll know what I'm going to say. Did you enjoy the little ditty I put up last night where apparently the rapper H says one of the new terminologies for real sexy is leng?
Yeah.
Well, he's not wrong, is he?
Yeah.
He said to Ruby Wax, you're a leng ting, straight away. Again, you know, with mental images, we've just had Ron Jeremy in a Tuppaware party.
And now we have John Lang. Yeah.
And now we have John Leng, and Ruby Wax is a John Leng ting.
Probably do Ruby Wax as a push.
If her face doesn't fucking melt, you could, yeah.
Provided she's waxed.
Even though it didn't entertain you very much, it entertained me when I saw it last night. Anyway, so I just thought I'd mention that because I knew you used to like the show, but I'm not sure about you currently. You're more an Emmerdale fanatic now, aren't you?
Well, I love the crack on Twitter after the two soaps finish.
Right.
Because there's some absolute obsessives on there, and it's quite funny getting in among it and winding them up about stuff.
Yeah.
These long winter nights.
This is what the game's brought us. It's brought us all to near depression, I think, where things are going. It's questions time anyway. This will cheer us all up. There's some good ones, there's some industry ones, funny ones, etc., etc. Rap Podcast has been on, and he says, genuinely serious question. Have you heard anyone outside of the BHA involved with racing have a positive comment on Julie Harrington's tenure? We've already covered it, but at the same time, it's a resounding no, chaps, isn't it?
There was a Racecourse Association. They were genuinely positive about her. They said she'd achieved a lot without actually telling us what they thought she'd achieved.
It's a broad church, isn't it? I've achieved a lot.
It was the usual corporate blurb that you expect people to put out when somebody leaves.
Yeah. Roscoe's gone on about racing here in terms of future, and he wants to know certain things. He says, if by magic you could restart the formula for racing, what would it look like? Can honestly see us losing 10 tracks in the next 5 years. What's your blueprint for a sustainable product?
I think I'd leave it as it was when it initially started, where you just had rich, old money dudes running match races over 17 miles for 2 chickens and things like that.
Exactly.
Bloody good telly. Yeah. Go for that.
Possibly enhanced by a big fight between two rival razor gangs on the Downs.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it couldn't be any worse, could it? But yeah, I think that's the problem. When you get corporate wonks involved in meddling, created the BHA and the Jockey Club went on its own, that was when the problem started, I think, because the people in the BHA have no feel for the sport. No. They've got no background in it.
I think the biggest thing is the sport needs to become more of a meritocracy. People need to be hired and fired on the basis of performance, which just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't.
I think that's the only way you're going to get forward-thinking people that are performance-driven.
You look at the appointments; they are all deeply connected.
Insular, isn't it? It's like the political journalism class.
Yeah.
Just about everybody that's got a job writing on a major newspaper is a godson or a goddaughter of somebody else. And it's all lovely and cosy and intertwined. And the racing media is the same. There's nobody constantly at these people like there should be, given the performance.
I agree.
It's all too cosy.
Yeah, Cartier Awards and all that. It's just, an annual backslapping. Rich people congratulating other rich people.
You talk about the irony racing itself. I mean, the Racing Post produced today a rerun of some article Ruff Scott wrote 15 years ago about spending a day with J.P. McManus.
Yes. Oh, God, that was cringeworthy, wasn't it?
This was to illustrate why he's won a fucking Cartier Award. Well, fuck off. Because he never asked him about the countless knot-offs that get his horses supremely well handicapped for big races and nothing ever done about it.
Yeah.
It was an absolute nothing article. It might as well have just started off by saying, I went over to JP's house and stroked his cock for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Another mental image.
It's client journalism with an upper class accent. That's all it is. Everything's great. And all we're going to do is write about how great everything is. That's the role of the racing media, unfortunately. It's there just to emphasise what a brilliant job everyone in racing is doing.
So Roscoe wants a solution. I haven't got all the answers. All I can say is that when this gambling tax is decided next week, you can never be certain on these things, but I am led to believe that racing will be dealt a favourable hand.
They could change your mind the night before, like.
Oh, yeah. Never, ever take a politician's word. A politician's word is no good to anyone. But that's where I believe the land lies at the moment. Can change. If that happens, there'll be a lot of finger pointing at the SMF, James Noyes, Matt Zarb, us as a podcast, for siding with the gambling tax issues, which was to segregate racing from slot machines online, which I'm sorry, but that all this cross-selling baloney is bullshit. You didn't need to cross-sell 20 or 30 years ago because the product didn't exist. You just took bets on racing. So I don't buy all that baloney. It's all about the bottom line for Big Corp, and the shareholders got to have a bit of bubble with the shareholders. Well, the bubbly's time to stop flowing a little bit for the shareholders and let the ecosystem come back. Now, when people say, and I've read it all from the other side of the argument, where they say, well, there's going to be closures, that they're going to put less money into racing. Well, so be it.
They've done that anywhere, though.
Exactly. The point is, under the current guise, racing cannot thrive. It's dying. Horses are going abroad to Australia. Why? Because prize money was worth more 30 years ago than it is now. And that's inflationary, obviously, values. Despite what's said and how much they invest, and Betfred have sponsored the Derby and done this and done that and done t'other, right? There's too much racing. $3,000 for the winner, less your fees, diesel, paint trainer and jockey, their cuts, and the riding fees, and you end up with about 1,800 quid. When your training bill's at least $2,000 a month, it's a zero-sum game, and that should not be happening in this era. That's why owners are selling abroad. Straight away, 400,000 offer from Hong Kong, sold. £500,000 offer from Australia, sold. And that's no good, because we're seeing horses that should be running here unnecessarily sold to race in the Far East and on the Australasia continent. Now, I'm sorry, but that's just not acceptable. For the blue bloods of this sport, we need to look after the breeding. We've got Coolmore with the best mares. Thank God for Coolmore, by the way. I know, like, there's Coolmore critics, but thank God for Coolmore, because they've got the best mares in the world. There's no way anyone can usurp Coolmore, not one of them. Japan emerged. Again, you've got to have top-class mares. That takes time. Could be 30 years before Japan get a foothold in the mares market and stuff like that. So we need to invest in our sport. And if bookmakers are just moaning, whining about this, that, and other, they still make money on racing. You've seen what they've done in recent years. They've just trimmed accounts because either breaking even or winning.
The trouble is, all the modelling now is showing them how much they can win if they just concentrate on the spots
Absolutely.
and get rid of all the staff.
Yeah.
And it's nothing to do with the tax situation or where racing's campaigning. They've wasted racing, now they're sick of it. They just want racing to fuck off.
Yeah. Well, racing was the door in, wasn't it, at one point?
Yeah.
To the slot machines.
Now it's football and bet builders.
Yeah, football bet builders probably the way in, now to the slots, but still, racing will encourage people to slots. It's another avenue, because that's why these sites are dead. The ones that just have slots, there's no reason to go on that site, is there? You can't bet on Bayern Munich to beat fucking whoever. And
they're after weeding all the players out of racing. They just want £2 a day losers, don't they, basically?
Pretty much, yeah. That's the model.
That's the business model.
Yeah. It's so sad, because it's such a great sport, and it should be an ecosystem, but it isn't, because they're very greedy. They're greedy people, and they just want to be giant behemoths.
And again, you look at suspect governance from the VHA, because we should never have been in this situation to throw gross profits tax.
Yeah. My magic formula, Roscoe, is 2 meetings a day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You could even have a day off if you wanted Tuesday and say no meetings, and everyone has a day off, because racing people need time off. And then you say, right, 3 on a Friday, 4 on a Saturday, 3 on a Sunday. Make them quality cards so people can go racing on Sundays. Have them at quite early times so families can go, as well as the Grey Pound. And I think that's the future blueprint in terms of fixtures, when you can get that back in-house. And then you need to naff the bookmakers off. You've got to naff them off to a degree. Yes, you need them. Yes, you need their support. You need their sponsorship. You need them putting money in. But at the same time, you can't have them running the show, John.
Oh, absolutely not. This is where it's got us.
Yeah. This is why we've got 9 race cards. Wolverhampton and Newcastle, for example, Saturday night, both 9 race cards. It's bollocks. And they just say, oh, it's levy. It's money coming in for the levy. Yeah, it's money coming in for the levy, but why do we need them? Why don't we just have lesser meetings, more prize money in those races, full fields? They'll get the full fields that they want. There you go. That's my blueprint. How you get there and what you do, there's a lot of hurdles, I can imagine. That's where we need to be. And it's a start by saying to the bookmakers, showing 2 fingers to them. That's what you've got to do. You have to deal with them that way. They've called the shots for so long, and it needs to stop. We've seen what they've done to ground racing, and they'll do exactly the same to horse racing if the status quo continue. We'd end up with Wolverhampton and Newcastle 6 days a week running for peanuts. And they're not bothered that people are running for peanuts. They don't care if owners can't make it pay. They don't care if trainers can't make it pay. They don't care about anyone other than the bottom line. So that needs to stop. Jeff Lynch has been on. Was anyone sucked in by the team managers week after week trying to gaslight Racing League? Was good. Me, for one, can't trust a word they say. How many will present the new Friday night show, though? Well, I think, obviously, if ARC managed to get ITV involved, you'd presume it'll be whoever ITV are contracted.
I don't think there's much chance of ITV getting involved on a Friday.
Maybe not. Don't know. Friday night anyway.
There's spurn a lot of good racing opportunities on a Friday afternoon, I know that.
Yeah, fair play. Chris, I mean, you're glad to see the back of the racing league, I take it?
Yeah, it wasn't a punter-friendly product. And that's the problem, because punters are reviled, I think, by the racing establishment. They'll try and create things that appeal to anybody except punters, and the racing league was a sort of a classic example of that. Something designed for people who aren't interested in racing. The core racing followers, like ourselves and many others, said it's shit. We don't want it. No, it's brilliant. You just don't understand. It's brilliant. And guess what? It wasn't brilliant. And here we are again.
There we go. But again, racing seems attracted by money. If someone's flashing a few quid in the game, here we're going to put some money into some good prize money, then racing seems to listen to anyone or anything, really. You could eat wagon wheels and Jaffa cakes while parading on a horse in strange colours. You'd do anything whatsoever, as long as there was money coming into the game. Rory's been on. He says, who are the stables you're regretting backing their runners recently? I won't say stables. With me, it's more jockeys than anything. Chris, you know the feeling. It's the right horse. It's the right race. It's got the right draw. It's the right trip. Everything's like there, just ready to smash into it. Then you see the pilot and you go,
And you wonder the logic of some of these yards. You think, why on earth would you book someone who's got a great big double squiggle against their name? Because there's a lot of jockeys out there who are just not very good. And that's the problem. It's not simply that they're moderate, they are very poor. Why would you pay the same amount of money for jockey A when you could get jockey B?
Exactly.
Who's worth 7 lengths?
Yeah.
And it's that big, the gap from top to bottom, I think.
To be fair, on Saturday night, a pundit on ATR made a very good point. And he wasn't being rude. He just said, given the standard of jockeys that's at Newcastle this evening, without being too rude, why is Hector Crouch up there just riding one? And Hector Crouch, by the way, wouldn't be in my particular top 10 of flat jockeys, but I take his point. When you've got a rider that's doing okay...
He'd be better than most that though, wouldn't he?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But it's very strange, but there you go. Dan's been on. He says, forget about affordability checks, betting tax, media rights, big corp, lack of prize money, and too much racing. He says, forget about it. He says, but listen, a tier 1 racing podcast pivoting to cooking is the final nail that the great game is gone. There you go, Dan. We ain't daft. Yeah, it's all about the roast buff.
Yeah.
From here on in.
Make sure your fat gets rendered.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff, Dan. And listen to this cooking podcast. It's good. And if you don't listen, get your missus listening to it if she's all cooking. You can't say that anymore. Peter Ellis said that one.
You get cancelled.
I can, bless him. They told him to retire.
He's only 96, so much more to offer.
I thought so. He brings Forsyth still alive then.
Yeah.
Good game. Jason Ayres said, last night I dreamt I rode a national flat race at Plumpton and came 10th.
Right.
I tell you what, fucking dream, you weirdos, you lot. Which wasn't bad, given that I am 55 years old and was putting up 84 pound overweight. Have any of the bar stewards ever had a less inspiring racing-related dream than that?
I don't think so.
That's bad, isn't it? You come 10th.
10th at Plumpton. Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's scraping the barrel, isn't it? That really is.
Jace, I'm sorry, mate. You've got to think about that dream and think you ride it same horse again. Try and stop it for a mark and then land a punt.
Yeah, think.
Get it off 75 in an handicap hurdle at fucking Newton Abbot. And then you're riding it, but you're handing $5,000 to your mate who's putting it on for you at ring. And there's only you and him that know about it. And no one said a word to anyone. And it's 33s, like the old David Wintle days.
Yeah, absolutely. Those days are long gone. But yeah, that's what you want. More than one person who knows about it, bad news. We get your price.
There you go. Jason, that's your dreams going forwards. I can make your life better there. My Coxlong's been on. If you were forced to write a children's book, what would it be about?
Children's issues, I would suppose.
John, I thought I'd do your biography, really, and I'd write a story of a fucking miserable northern kid. Parents hated him, and he ended up a right miserable bastard. If you think about the logic of that, and people say, well, that's a shit children's book. It's not, because the child reads it and thinks, well, my family's fantastic. And look at this
Yeah.
poor guy. Cheers you up.
It would cheer him up, wouldn't
You
it?
know, you think, you know what, my life's not that
Yeah.
bad at all. Quite good.
Yeah. There you go. My family's not as bad.
Kes without the kestrel, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. Yeah, it is. Very well observed. Yeah, it is. Kes
Yeah.
without the kestrel.
I'd characterise a brother in your story, John, and I'd call myself Judd as well. Yeah, brother Judd. Good question, Mike. Chris, anything to add to that?
No, I think we all steer well clear of that sort of talk. So, yeah, no. Children's books, no, we're not interested in that, no.
We did have a late question from VW Horse and Cricket. Australia not only beat us at cricket, but racing currently too. What do you think the UK needs to do to make racing and punting as popular again as it is down under? I'll put this simply to you, Steve. You just need to take bets, have a minimum bet liability, have a non-functioning gambling commission the way it's going on. That's it. That's all you need. And then people spend the money on what they want to spend it on.
They're not as squeamish over there, are they, about people enjoying themselves and having a bet and a drink? It's much
No.
more within the warp and weft of their culture. Here, it's all sort of frowned upon, but in Australia, it isn't.
The same thing. If the money's flowing through the industry with no restrictions, then you're going to have money spare to people help when they need it, or use it to treat people or help people get back on the feet that have genuinely made a mess of their lives through a pastime that is enjoyed by many, but unfortunately some do.
People like us, basically, is what you mean, whose lives have been ruined by it. Yeah,
that's what I'd do. Right, 3 sort of like weird questions to finish. One of yours is from you, Lorne, as well.
Yes.
Terrible, this. Bert Doncaster. You know, this is going to be weird. Worshipping a religion is made compulsory, right? So you've got to do it. Which one are you choosing?
Whichever form of Buddhism fucking maniac priests that do the kung fu follow. My hands would be lethal weapons.
Kung fu Buddhists?
Yeah. Like absorb a full power kick in the nuts and like not break stride and things like that.
Fair play.
What do you call it? Zen martial arts or something, Chris, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one you want to follow, I think, probably. Me and Lee be the same. UFO religions, one of them. I reckon that'll be quite fun. Yeah, a UFO.
Massive cultist. Yeah. I like the ones where they all like go out in the desert and talk to the skies and contact the hum and go, we are here. We're waiting for your contact.
Fantastic. We do that anyway. So, you know, all you got to do is put a badge on it and that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Me and Chris are UFOers. Steve Mustard, the best name on Twitter, has been on.
Yeah.
And he said Jimmy Savile was famously buried at a 45-degree angle so that he could see the sea. What unusual final requests do the bar stewards have?
What they did tell Jimmy Savile was the 45-degree angle he was buried at was face forward, face in the air.
Yeah, tombstoned, yeah.
He was basically looking directly into hell.
Yeah.
Which was good enough for him. What was that special request when you die?
John, so let's say if you unexpectedly pass, what would you like instead of likes of me, McIver and Stocker?
I don't think it'd be unexpectedly so much to a certain extent. And anybody that was shocked would need to have a serious word with themselves.
Are you favourites in Death Sweep now? Nick survived his operation this week.
Well, he hasn't completely recovered yet, has he? So I'd say Nick's probably just shading it at the minute, but it still looked like a 2-horse race, I think. Yeah. Things when we die, I would like to be doused in petrol, stuck on a barge, and pushed out to sea like King Arthur at the end of the Excalibur. Little bonfire sailing off onto the horizon.
Yeah, would this be at Saltburn or Redcar?
Couldn't do Saltman, there's too much surf.
Okay.
It'd have to be Redcar through all the slurry and the seagull shit.
Yeah, the tide would bring you back in, John, and you burn the fucking town down. That's your luck, isn't it? It's coming back in, everything catches fire. Yeah, taking about 200 people with you.
Well,
it's what he would have wanted.
Burn that good chippy down as well. Is it Oliver's or something? He'd doing that fucker. He would. Thing is, I'm also fearful of John. Like, if he knows he's dying within a week, no one's safe who he doesn't lie.
I know if I do get noticed, like there's people getting taken out, there's no question.
So, Chris, what was your final wishes?
Well, I think chopped up and fed to the dogs at Battersea Dogs Home. So there's some utility value to my death, I think. I think one peer of the realm did try and, in his will, ordered that he should be sort of dismembered and fed to the dogs. But I think the courts intervened on that one. But so I'll try another legal challenge to allow my remains to be feasted on by stray dogs. I think that will be my final wish, I think.
Yeah, I don't want out, really. I want nothing. Put in a sack somewhere in a bin. That'll do.
You don't necessarily have to be dead. You know, there's that for you.
Yeah, I'm sure some people would like that.
I think it goes on in Brazil, doesn't it?
I think so.
It's not a bin, it's a skip, isn't it? Because
Yeah, just sling them in. That's it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's cheap, isn't it?
Well, when you're dead, aren't you? That's the thing.
Simplicity cremations, where to go.
I can light bath and just think about it and put a smile on my face. You know?
But your impending demise.
Still can't get over that advert with that concert.
Right, last question reserved for Chris, Mr. Lawn, who rarely asks questions. I presume he wants to know what me and John think here. Yeah. The one.
Ask the question, Lee, because I think every man has pondered this at some point in their lives, I think.
Okay, well, there's actually two things, really. The one song on your playlist that you are embarrassed to admit liking, and what would your boxing walk on? I can answer the first one, then I think about the boxing walk on. First one is, everyone ribs me for this. It's a song called Soleil Soleil.
Oh, Middle of the Road, lovely song. Jackie Carr, gorgeous.
Yeah. Everyone I've ever met has gone, what the fuck is this?
It's brilliant.
I'll have to have a listen to that. Yeah, give that.
Soleil Soleil.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Middle of the Road. It's one of their famous ones. They've done others. I like watching videos. I think the guitar player or drummer, I can't remember, he's like a fucking dead ringer for Jack of Spades. Honestly, I've never seen anyone in human form that looks like the playing card as much as him. You'll get what I mean when you see it.
That's fucking terrifying.
I know. But she's, like as John says, the lead singer's gorgeous. Back in the day, I bet she were getting...
Oh. She'd get it now.
Yeah.
Certainly before Ruby Wax.
What would your boxing walk on? I thought about this before. Right, I'm a massive Rocky fan in terms of Rocky films. And I used to love Apollo Creed's, stuff. It was incredible. I'd do things that he does. When first film, he come on this fucking truck with American flag and Statue of Liberty's on his truck, and he's chucking coins and dollars into the crowd as he's coming. Something like that. Or Living in America with James Brown, and he comes down on this raging bull. Then obviously he gets killed, but by Drago. That would be my boxing thing. Job.
The song would be Chanson pour les petits enfants by Jimmy Buffett.
That's not the one that goes rat-ta-ta-ta-ta.
No. That's Chanson d'amour by Manhattan Transfer.
Oh, right, yeah.
I should be able to name that tune, shouldn't I? Because I named that in no time with a really minimal clue there.
We got in music quizzes from back yesterday.
It was a minimal clue, that. But yeah, that's my slightly embarrassing favourite song, I would have said.
Okay.
No, that's cheesed me up somehow. I feel as high as a kite when I'm listening to that. I don't know why.
Yeah. Boxing walk on.
Definitely the same to Dad's Army.
Well, that's another thing. Rocky VI, I think he walked on to Sinatra. I think the age song.
Dad's Army, because that would lull him into a false sense of security. Then I would unleash me Buddhist fucking kung fu skills from earlier.
After joining your cult.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Chris, out of interest then, seeing as you asked it, what's the embarrassing one for you that you don't like admitting to?
I like Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me.
Really?
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I really like it. It's bubblegum pop for teenage girls. I think it's a banger. So, yeah,
it
Carly
is a
Rae
banger.
Yeah, it's an absolute banger. But, yeah, so that will be one. And walk-on music, I would walk on to Coldplay's Viva La Vida. So it's a comeback song, and I would be dressed as a Roman emperor, right?
Jesus.
And I would be surrounded by a phalanx of the fittest women, all dressed as Roman centurions bearing the standard. And I'd be walking slowly down to the ring, acknowledging my subjects who was kind of leaning in from this is at Madison Square Garden or Caesar's Palace, climb into the ring, give a best stare off imaginable, snarling threats, return to my corner, and as soon as the bell goes for the first round, my corner would throw in the fucking towel and go to the pub. That's what I imagine. No boxing. Ding, ding, ding. Towel goes in. Let's fuck off.
So,
That'll be for me.
Yeah. So there you go. Final note there to Charlotte Russell. He's given you his number, so call him maybe.
Call me maybe, yeah. I do all the hand movements and all, the whole dance, the whole kit and caboodle. Yeah, I've memorised it, yeah.
Yeah. And you'd probably get a going with your boxing walk on, Chris, I think.
I think almost certainly, almost certainly.
There you go. That's another set of bollocks we've got through this week. Like I said, don't forget to join our cooking podcast that is out today. And I really do think you'll enjoy it over time. I really do think you'll pick up some tips if you're into that sort of thing as well. So that's all from me, John and Chris. We're back as normal next week. Bye for now.
Hey, I just met you.